The scallops are taken in through the open forward end as the net is towed along the bottom, generally for 2 or 3 miles. Then the winch is reversed to haul in the net, a 5 or 10-minute operation. Once it hangs alongside, the net is turned to the proper position for handling. Then it is brought in across the rail by the boom. After being towed across the sand and rock bottom, the links and rings shine as if newly polished. Finally, the net is dumped, spilling the catch directly onto the deck. About 700 pounds of sea scallops, a fine catch, and a strong sign of a good scallop bed below. So, the first of 2 marker buoys is dropped over the side. Floating at anchor with identifying flags, as well as night lights and radar reflectors, they'll mark each end of the towing course. While this is done and the net prepared for the next run, the first load of scallops must be attended to quickly in order to preserve freshness and flavor. Lightning fast hands shuck the scallops, retaining only the tender muscles. Then the plump white cubes are given a thorough washing for several minutes to remove particles of sand and shell. Next, they're packed in new muslin sacks, about 40 pounds in each sack. The tops are closed and retained by a spiral of strong wire. Notice the accent on speed and efficiency in all these operations. Without delay, the bags are lowered through a hatch to the hold beneath the main deck. In effect, this is a giant refrigerator into which crushed ice was loaded at New Bedford just before departure. The bags are stowed away in bins, and each is surrounded with ice. Here, the scallops, only minutes off the sea bottom, will stay ocean fresh. Now, scalloping settles down to a standard routine. The net drops into the sea. And after a tow of several miles, the winch hauls the net in over the side. The catch is dumped on the deck to be shucked, washed, bagged, and stored in ice. As the buoy at the end of the course is reached, the explorer turns to run back over the same course. The boat's 2 nets will be used, one to port, the other to starboard. The work goes on like this in fair weather and foul through 6 days and nights, with decks and crew bathed in the eerie glow of floodlights, a marked contrast to the dark surrounding sea. Finally, the net is brought in from the last tow. The job is done, and the explorer sets her course for home. Once again, the familiar sights of home harbor. This has been a good trip with a near record catch, 11 tons of prime scallop meats packed away below. Now, the explorer noses into her berth, lines are cast ashore, and she's home from the sea once more. In a scene marked by its urgency and color, The cargoes of the fleet are sold at auction. The various vessels with scallops to sell are listed on the blackboard. Prices change at a fast pace as bids are called out by the packing plant buyers. Let's listen for a moment.
Hey, we got the cat. Good and back. Give all 75 to board. 80 to board. 90 to board. 55 on the first floor.
After the auction, high bidders take delivery of the catch right at their own packing plant wharves. Here, aided by a boom, the crewmen swing 22,000 pounds of fresh, prime sea scallops inshore from the hold. After being washed in great stainless steel tanks, the scallops move up a conveyor belt to hoppers, from which they are packed in various types of containers. The 5-pound institutional box shown here is a standard, popular with restaurants, hospitals, and schools. Next, they're carefully weighed. Obviously, throughout this operation, handling must be fast but gentle. A protective sheet is laid over the contents. The box is closed and stacked in special trays. These trays are then placed in the shelves of a giant freezer with a capacity of 2,500 pounds. After 3½ hours of artificial winter at 25 degrees below zero, the scallops are removed, frosty hard, with all their deep sea flavor locked in by the freezing process, and packed in cartons. Another cargo of scallops is off to market or further processing in fast, shiny refrigerator trucks. In spotless, well-equipped plants, typical of the progressive modern packing industry, many millions of pounds of sea scallops are processed each year. As the fresh scallops move along an automatic conveyor, they are coated with batter. Then, after passing through a layer of breadcrumbs, they move on into the oven. As they leave the oven, the scallops are an even golden brown. Then they're frozen. The boxes are filled by automatic hoppers. Finally, individual boxes are packed in cartons for shipment, ready to heat and eat, plain or with a favorite sauce. Scallops are also available in complete pre-cooked frozen dinners. And not only have scallops become a popular staple far and wide, they're recognized for their nutrients.